My job here at Wheatstone is more or less tech triage, I guess is a good way to put it. Once the call comes to the front desk and it's determined that it's parts or tech, if it's tech, it comes to me. And if I can answer the question, I will, and I do. If it requires engineering help, then I get one of the other engineers involved, and it goes up the echelons as it needs to. The majority of the questions that come in, really and truly, could be solved largely from the information that's in the manual. You know, it's not always the easiest thing to find, but that's how a lot of the questions end up being answered, is just pointing out a page in the manual and reciting the information from there.
Nobody likes to read a manual, no matter what industry they're in.
They don't. And
that includes me, because in actuality, recently, I've been able to actually, with the manuals all on the website now, I've been actually able to answer questions for customers myself that way without having to go through Jerry or Dick or Paul or anybody else.
There is a lot of very good information in the manuals, but the manuals are really more like ABCs of learning to speak Wheatstone as far as our products go. Once you have that information under your belt, it makes talking to us in tech support a lot easier, because you're not teaching them the ABCs. You know, they've got that much under their belt. You're teaching them to make sentences at that point.
Right.
Or words.
One of the things that I take pride in as a Wheatstone employee, because we do care about our customers, is the fact that I can still provide parts for almost every console we have ever built out there.
You bring up a good point.
And that is just so wonderful to me, to be able to say, oh yeah, we got that, because a lot of customers will call and say, I bet you probably don't have this anymore. And I'm like, oh, yes, we do.
It's always a nice surprise.
And
to them.
It is, definitely.
To find out we still support stuff. There's a statement that we use by default, kind of, and if I'm not mistaken, it came from Gary or Andy, one of the two. But it's that we do our best to support anything we ever made. And it's not just words, it's not just a statement, it's true.
We really do, yes.
We will go back and dig in old stock.
I have gotten very dirty digging back through some old things for people to get parts for them.
And even repairs. People are pleasantly surprised to find out they can send something in for repair that we made 20 years ago. You know, that blows people away, and I love telling them that.
Rhonda, I've heard you tell people before when they call in, well, yes, I used to make those consoles, because you did start out, you know, manufacturing and manufacturing parts. They like that.
The R60s are my babies.
Yeah. As far as what I do, it's kind of after both of you. I get all the orders that you generate, and they all come to me.
And that sales generates.
And that sales generates any order. Consoles, big Wheatstone systems, parts for fader knobs, they all come to me, and I'm the person who's responsible for getting them ready for shipment, as far as preparing the paperwork for shipment, and collecting the money. And
very important.
Yes, for any international orders, I would prepare all the shipping documents and paperwork, and so I'm sort of after you guys, but I have a lot of dealings with customers.
Right.
They call me for order status, you know, checking on shipments, getting tracking information, giving me credit card information. So we sort of work hand in hand. I don't always know the specific parts, and in fact, I call both of you sometimes and say, now what is this exactly? Because I have to claim it with customs, and I can't tell exactly what this is. So,
well,
but we do have to work a lot hand in hand that way.
And I think you raise another good point in your job description, in that, and it applies to all of us, is that we all tend to wear multiple hats. And, I don't know, that's another thing that's kind of cool, you know, is that we'll all help anybody that needs help at the time that day. You know, if there's an overload in the parts department that day, I'll help Rhonda out. If I'm overloaded in tech, she'll help me out. It's I don't know, just kind of a multiple hat sort of place.